Now, this is a very weird Boeing 747. As you can see, it has 4 engines as usual, but they're, for some reason, put together, like some of those Soviet jets. You know the O-62 that has a dual pod engine right there? 2 engines strapped together to create a package of 4? Aside from that, we can see fuel pods here on the left and right side of the wing. Yes, when I saw this plane for the first time, I was thinking, what in the world? And guess where I saw the airplane for the first time? On TV. You know, this very special Boeing 747 can be found on the Dunsfold Aerodrome here in Surrey in the UK. And well, you know, at this aerodrome, they do everything except of flying planes there. Yes, because this is the Top Gear racetrack, which is why you'd see this very special Boeing 747 on Top Gear indeed, and it's right there in the background. Take a look. You may know Top Gear's TMU version, 5th Gear, even had a full feature of this plane in one of their films. They towed this plane with a car?
A 155-ton Boeing 747.
It's got a 200-foot wingspan.
It's over 230 feet long.
Wait! He's just ignoring the fact now that there's weird engines hanging off of it. So I was thinking, what is wrong with this airplane? Is it some sort of engine test bed where they're tested out weird engines? You know, something happens all the time. Look at this engine monstrosity. Look at this engine monstrosity. Look at this engine oh my god. Oh my, that looks weird. Another engine monstrosity. This is of course done to test out how do these engines work. Well, it turns out no it isn't. This plane used to be a Boeing 747 for British Airways. Under the registration of a Golf Bravo Delta X-Ray Juliet, the plane flew as a normal passenger plane for 22 years, 747-200. And I mean, look at it. It's of course an ancient plane, so British Airways retired it in 2002. Because I mean, look at this first class cabin in the upper deck. Definitely not what we'd expect today. After British Airways retired it, the so-called European Air Charter operated it until 2004, where it was eventually grounded and put to this airport indeed. And ever since then, this plane became a movie star. Not only was it being pushed back on 5th Gear, it was also pushed back by Jeremy Clarkson himself on Top Gear. For some reason, and couldn't find a single episode of that. Anyway, this is Jeremy Clarkson towing, oh, that's Richard. Oh, is that? I don't know who it is, but they all towed it. And well, now the reason why this plane looks exactly like this is, of course, I've done a remodel in the flight simulator. It looks absolutely weird and hideous. It's not any scientific or anything. Actually, this plane was a movie prop also for this movie right here, Casino Royale, James Bond, and you can see the very plane showing up right now. Yes, it has a bit of a weird nose, but it has especially the weird engine. What we see right in front of us is not a 747, but the Skyfleet S570. Great. It has a capacity of 850 passengers in the film. Hey, wait, they have a game? Wait. Yeah, they did have a game, but the plane looked like that. Oh my god, that's miserable. Yeah, the James Bond's Quantum of Solace game, they should have definitely used my model right here. Anyway, yes, for Casino Royale, they needed a plane. And a very big plane, a very new plane at that people don't know. I mean, they couldn't have just used a 747, I guess. I don't know why. Anyway, yes, indeed, they did use this plane, and it is quite weird. Look at those weird engine, again, mounted in a twin pod. And we have those sort of chevron nozzles right here, which I tried to add here as well. Chevron nozzles. Look at this. Now, this plane definitely cannot carry 800 passengers. It's still the 747, but with more modern General Electric's engines. But hey, look, we've got this one, and this plane may be more famous than you might think. Do you remember this show here? Come Fly With Me? Of course you do. And you can see this is obviously shot on the 747-200. Very much you can see that, because the upper deck is quite small. Obviously, I'm not joking, this series was also filmed on this very aircraft. The very 747 was also seen in the 2016 movie The Infiltrator by Ryan Krasson. That might just be our airplane. It was also features on the Scrap Heap Challenge, which is one of those UK programs where they try to just tow a 747. It worked. For some reason, we had engine covers here. Obviously, these engines don't work. This plane's never gonna fly. It probably doesn't even have a cockpit in there. These instruments cost a lot of money. The very plane was also used in this scene, apparently. Zombies on a plane, World War Z. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. So it's just zombies. Oh. Well, that's not gone well. The plane was also used for shooting Johnny English as well. So I have the hypothesis now that this might be the most seen 747 in the world. Maybe it's not the most famous one, maybe it's more like JL Flight 123 or something that's more famous, but it might be. But, well, yes, of course, this whole design is not real. It doesn't exist, but it could exist. The question is, would it make sense? I mean, after all, this plane can carry 850 people and has the CE-856i engines. Great, but for some reason it can only fly for 6,000 miles. That is not very far. I mean, the A350 ultra long range can fly for nearly double that, but I don't think that would even make sense. I mean, look at the huge fuel pod we have there. Obviously, by putting these engines together, we have a bit of space saved here for the outer wing section. This is truly great news, and well, the thing is, this plane definitely would fly. Obviously, I've got this simulated nicely, but I haven't made the blade to work. The blades don't work. Anyway, we can take off this plane with a... Yes, it's got equal the amount of power after all. Look. Yes, 747-200 is taking off. I think we're taking off without any flaps. Oh god, that might be big trouble. Take off now. Okay, there we go. I mean, after all, we are at a very high elevation, small runway airport. And also, these fuel ponds, I think I made them a little bit too inconveniently big. Yes, you can fit loads of fuel into this thing. This thing will probably fly forever at this point. Anyway, let's put the landing gear up. And, you know what I mean? There is a bit of a drawback to having this. Can you imagine if one engine fails, for example? As in, what if there was a fire? What if there was engine separation? That would immediately also affect the neighbor engine because it's so close together. Also, I mean, I haven't really simulated this properly, to be honest, but in the real concept, these two engines are fitted to one single mount. That is a lot of force for one single mount. What if both engines just fall off? What if a bird strike, you know, it hits and it actually hits two engines at the same time, because that's where two birds go. And also, I think, I'm not a scientist here, but I feel like the efficiency of the engines would be greatly reduced. After all, an engine works by sucking air in and throwing air out on the other side. Very hot air. But wouldn't these two engines steal air from each other so they wouldn't be as efficient if they were separated? Yeah, it turns out what James Bond's guys did was an insanely dumb idea. The airplane would definitely fly, but it would perform a lot worse. Maybe that's why we needed the whole runway for 747-200, which is a plane that flew on some pretty short runway. I mean, this is a relatively long one. 737s fly here. Anyway, let's go ahead and land this beautiful bird. Come on. Let's do a butter landing. Oh, we need a little bit of power. I feel like X-Plane actually kind of simulates this quite well. It's not gonna be smooth. Oh, we've just killed the set. Oh, it's never gonna fly again. Holy moly. All right. Share some air. Get the reverse thrust going. Oh, I'm so sorry, little airplane. I'm so all right. There we go. You know, I'm always delighted to see what happens with 747s that are retired. I've slept in one. I've been in one that's been hooked into the sky. The 747 will stay with us even if it doesn't fly, as like a dead corpse. Have weird thoughts. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye. And a special thanks goes out to my members, my supporters: Guns Killer, R27, James Duram, That Dude, Anime Gods of Gaming, Derek, Insider Plane, Nishijitsu Finder, Professional Jamal, Ryland Williams, and New the York. You've got beautiful names.